Today is an exciting day. It is the first video that I am filming from our new home, and in today's video I am going to show you before and after of our entire home. Now I'm going to preface it by saying we just moved in a couple of days. This is only my second, maybe my third night here. I've been traveling in between, so I really haven't done any unpacking. There's no decorating done. Things are just kind of thrown in the house. So if there's pictures of the home after we've moved in, you know, nothing has been put away or decorated yet. So I just want to make that clear because some of the things don't look very good. Okay, so let's start the home tour. So we purchased this 1,670 square foot home, ranch style, built in 1969 with a half-acre flat lot. I loved this house. I knew I wanted it as soon as I heard it was going for sale. My husband was not so sure. It reminded him of what he said would be his grandmother's home, and it was really in need of updating inside. So he really had trouble seeing past that. He didn't really have a vision for the house. However, I had a big vision. So it took a little convincing. We shopped around for about a month looking at, oh my goodness, I can't even tell you how many other homes that were a lot more expensive and would still need to be renovated. So I finally convinced them to purchase this house and that we would do a big renovation. The two things that he really wanted was a front porch, you know, to change up the entryway, and also a great room inside, because of course all the 1970 ranches were very small, you know, a little more choppy rooms inside. So what we did was we pushed out the front area about 6 feet. So I think it's about 9 feet now, because the original doorway area was recessed about 3 feet, and then we pushed it out an additional 6 feet. When we first were trying to do this, couldn't get it approved because they said our house was on a recorded 50-foot setback, and the house itself was on 50 feet. And so we were just going to have a 3-foot porch, which was very disappointing, but you know, that's what else could you do? And then when they started raising the gable, I finally got my survey back, and it said that the home was sitting back 56 feet from the front property line. So that we had 6 additional feet to work with as far as changing the front porch. So they had already had the cross beam and the gable done, and we had them take the beam off and extend it another 6 feet, which we are super glad that we did. The final home ended up being about 2,700 square feet after the renovations, or 2,700 square feet of living space, plus a 3-car garage. So the original garage was small. They took apart a portion of it and made it the laundry room, so you couldn't really even park a car in there. So we ended up converting the entire 2-car garage into a master bedroom suite, and then added a 3-car garage on the back. And the garage ended up being really big because our architect had put a hallway in it, which we didn't need, so we just kind of made a landing. But that extra couple of feet really made the garage extra spacious. So for the front of the house, we decided that we wanted to move the front door over and center it on what was going to be our front porch. So that just took a little bit of trying to decide what to do with all that room inside the front, because that used to be a family room or a living room, or even, you know, you could have used it as a dining area. But now we're going to have a door in the middle of it. So it just seemed like a lot of wasted space. So we decided to reframe one of the bedrooms, which was going to be my home office, and capture that front foyer area in the new office. So the foyer ended up a little bit smaller. I mean, it's still a pretty big foyer. We'll easily be able to put our Christmas tree there. But we really liked how it turned out. So now when you walk in the front door, you're in a foyer, which used to lead to their family room, which along the back wall had a brick fireplace and some built-in bookshelves, and then a large picture window in the kitchen. And so we decided to push that entire wall out about 10 feet. So we added about 200 square feet, making a great room, which is one of the things that my husband really wanted. We added a 12-foot sliding French doors across the back wall and then 9-foot sliding French door in the kitchen area. So we just have this wall of light that is west facing. So it's really, really hot right now. So we put in a ventless gas fireplace over on the south wall. And then at the last minute, I decided I really wanted to go ahead and add built-in bookshelves. We had the cabinets a little bit lower because I thought it gave it a more modern feel, and our couch is a little modern. And I just wanted a single mantle over the fireplace because we are going to put a TV there. And with only 8-foot ceilings, I just didn't want it to fill up too much. Now, they ended up installing the mantle too high, so then we had to lower it. And so we're still waiting for the drywall repairs, and then we will have it repainted. But overall, I can just tell that I love the way it looks. Okay, of course, the kitchen is my favorite part of the remodel. It was a very tiny kitchen before. And then with that additional 10 feet out, we could kind of push the dining room back. And we actually put in a walk-in pantry where the stove and by where the refrigerator used to be. And we added an 8-foot island. I did try and make everything handicap accessible. So the island is 4 feet from the back countertops to make it really easy to maneuver a wheelchair if we ever get to that point. Only because both of my husband and my parents ended up in a wheelchair, and they ended up having to leave their home because it was not very wheelchair accessible. I had the fun part picking out the countertops, and I picked out this beautiful quartzite. It's called white luxe, but it's really more of an ivory over a bright white. At least the slabs that we picked out, which were 2 neighboring slabs. Yeah, I just absolutely love my slabs. I knew I wanted it on my kitchen island. And then we had the matching slab in the back over by where we're going to add our wine fridge. We did pick some European oak it's an engineered oak for our floors. And I picked my drapes, the panels that I wanted in my living room first. So then I could make sure I was getting the exact color of blue that I would need, and have all the paint colors and everything picked out. Someone had mentioned to me that you always want to pick your fabric before your paint because it's easier to match your paint to a fabric than match a fabric to a paint. So I did find something that I wanted for drapes first and use that when I was deciding on paint colors. So the paint I have, it's all Sherwin-Williams, and this one is called Indigo Batik, are the blue cabinets, and the walls are maritime white, and the trim is Greek Villa. And the lights I just got at Home Depot, they're last minute. So originally we were going to have one big walk-in pantry, and the refrigerator was supposed to be next to that half wall, but they thought it was going to be shorter. And when they found out they couldn't shorten the wall because it was load bearing, then I was like, well, I won't be able to open a side-by-side fridge. And so we had to move the fridge to the middle, which took a little bit of space for the walk-in pantry, but we still ended up with a lot of pantry space. So I have a walk-in cabinet on the left and then just some pantry shelves on the right. Now, previously, when you went to the right of the front door, you were walking down a hallway, which was supposed to be a formal dining room. And then you would go into the door, which used to be the garage, but now they had converted to a laundry room. You still had to go down a couple of stairs. So we raised the floor in that garage, and we converted that whole area, including the dining area, to the master suite. So the dining area became my closet and also the laundry room. And then we added a full bath and what we call a packing area. So my husband's a pilot, if you did not know that. And this way, when he comes home at 1 or 2 in the morning, he has a little packing station where he can put his suitcase and unpack everything he needs, hang his uniforms, and do everything just right outside the sleeping areas. And then he also can just go into his own closet, which he has his own closet, or go into the bathroom before he comes into the sleeping areas. Eventually, we may put a barn door. That was the original plan, was to eventually put a barn door to block the sleeping area. But honestly, I have not heard him come in. um, it's so dark in the sleeping area that it really doesn't bother me at all if he's making noise, or maybe he's just trying to be too quiet and it would be easier for him with the doors. But regardless, eventually we want to put a barn door, but we don't have one yet. We did put a tray ceiling in the area. So this is one of the highest ceilings. We have 8-foot ceilings in the majority of the house, but we do have a 9-foot ceiling, a tray ceiling in the master bedroom. And then the master bath actually has a 9-foot ceiling too. So that's probably the tallest ceilings in, well, it's not probably, it is the tallest ceilings in the whole house, which again makes it feel a little bit more livable and less like you're living in a basement, because it was really dark. We added 2 transom windows also because we just needed to be a little bit brighter. I did not want full size windows because that backs up next to the driveway. The bathroom took a couple tries to get it right. A decorator had talked me into changing my original decision to put subway tile around the decorative tile, and he told me to put the floor tile up around. And of course, it looked absolutely horrible. And my husband sent me a picture saying, "Is this what you wanted?" And I said, "Tell him to stop. Don't do any more." And then we had them expand the area, put the subway tile I originally purchased, and it was going to look great. But then when they put the grout on, it was way too dark. And so I thought that looked terrible. So then I had them regrout it to a light gray. And that was actually the third time they grouted it. They grouted it white first. So it took a while, but I really like how it ended up. Okay, now we'll look at the original part of the house. This was the hall bath. So it used to have a double sink and then a door with the tub and the toilet. And I ended up tearing out that doorway and just making it one large bath. And that is the only tub in our house. I really love the way it turned out. Again, we still haven't finished decorating. I like the mirror and the lighting that I picked for it. So the first bedroom that you come to walking down the hallway is my home office now. I've got a lot of different things in there. I'm storing all my photography equipment from when I was a professional photographer. I've got all my YouTube filming equipment. I have all of my seed starting equipment. Plus I have a TV and a couch and bookshelves. So I really need to figure out how I'm going to organize it. But I'm really glad I grabbed that extra square footage by taking the foyer and adding that to the room. And then we we swapped the door and the window. So we added a second window into that room where the door used to be. And so it makes it really bright. And I am excited to get everything put away. The back bedroom is going to be kind of a second guest room. And it's also going to be a military themed room. So my husband didn't really need an office because he does everything on an iPad, a work iPad. But he does have a lot of what I call I love me stuff from his 20 years in the military. And I have some too, because I spent 12 years in the military. So we are going to put some of our military paraphernalia up on the walls. So it is going to be military themed room. This is the only room that has different color walls. The master bedroom, or the former master bedroom, is now our primary guest room. This is where my daughter that lives in Nashville, this is where she'll come and stay when she comes down to Franklin and doesn't feel like driving home at night. It does have its own ensuite bath. These were really tiny. I mean, the shower was so claustrophobic. We did take a little bit of the closet and made the shower bigger, so it's at least a normal sized shower, a comfortable shower. And it's just perfect for a guest. So we're really pleased with how it turned out. And the closet, again, doesn't have that full bar because of the AC ducting, but we'll put some shelves there and make that kind of our linen closet. And then finally, just from the back of our house, obviously I have my gardens. If you've been following my channel, you've seen that I have my raised bed gardens. We are working with the landscaper right now. We're going to sod all the areas that I still have straw. I'm going to dig out some beds for my dahlias this weekend because they did not get to it. And it's just a really large yard and obviously still very much a work in progress. It might be 2 years before we have the deck in and all the landscaping done. I hope you enjoyed this home tour. This has been 6 months from the day we got our permit to the day we moved in. Actually, 6 months and 2 days. So I really think everything's gone really fast. We still have a punch list of some things that need to be done, but overall, we're really pleased with the home and we can't wait to get settled. As always, I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next time.